Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Griffin with the Unit 3 Lesson 9 video where we're going to talk about translations on and off of the coordinate plane. So to begin with, we need a few different concepts. First off is the idea of what a transformation is. A transformation is what transforms an object, and we call that a mapping. So every point that we use in a picture, whether it's on a graph or not, will move or map to another point, which we would call P prime. That's what the little apostrophe sort of thing in the air is, a tick mark. Okay, if we look at the figure before we perform the transformation, that's called a preimage. And after you do some sort of transformation to it, it's called the image. All right. A rigid motion is a type of transformation that carries a segment onto a congruent segment and an angle onto a congruent angle. And it's distance preserving if it maintains the distance between 2 points. That would make the congruent segment idea. And it's angle preserving if we get a congruent angle. And if we are talking about rigid motions, they preserve both. Okay, so some of our transformations will just do one or the other, but a rigid motion preserves both distance and angle. Okay, there are 3 types of rigid motions that we're going to talk about: translation, reflection, and rotation. Those all keep distances the same and angles the same measure. So they change nothing about the size or shape of an object, just where it is. A composition of transformations is where we do more than one, and the symbol is a circle, and that little circle means after. All right, so we're going to start our transformations by looking at translation. A translation along a vector called AB, or whatever letters we happen to be using, we write as T sub AB with the arrow over it. And most importantly, a transformation slides a figure. A translation slides a figure. So the notation can be this capital T, and then your vector would be the subscript, and in here you would put whatever the object is that you are going to slide. So whether it's a triangle or a point or whatever, it would go in here. Or if we're on the coordinate plane, sometimes they take the values that we're going to slide by in terms of like a coordinate, and we would take that and do it to a point. And what happens is that the values we're going to use get added onto the point. All right. So if we're looking at a picture that's not on the coordinate plane, we would be able to draw a vector, or we would have a segment that's already drawn for us that tells us where to begin and where to end. And the beginning of it is one of the points on the preimage, and the end is one of the points on the image. And these points are very important because they need to be very, very specifically exactly on the beginning and exactly on the end. The tip of the arrow goes to the end, because this is telling us both how far to move something and what direction to move it. So every point when we slide something moves the same exact distance in the same exact direction. All right, so if we're looking at a coordinate plane, that means we're going to take an object and we are going to shift it around. So we have here a parabola that we're going to graph between values 0 and 6. And so we're going to create the table from 0 to 6. And you could use your graphing calculator to do that, or you could substitute in all your values like this. And you could do that in the calculator or not in your head or on paper, and you could fill in your y table that way. So whichever way you need to calculate your y values or get them from the calculator, you could do that. And then we're going to plot the points, but keep in mind that this says our domain is from 0 to 6, and it doesn't have these equal bars under, so that means that when we go to connect them, the ends of my parabola are going to be open circles. So our point 0, 8 is an open circle. 1, 3 is now the middle part. So 2, 0, 3, negative 1, 4, 0, 5, 3, and then finally 6, 8 will be another open circle. And so we have a parabola. Okay, now to do the transformation, we are going to basically create a new table or think about what's going to happen to these. So all of our x values we're going to have subtracting 3. So every one of these x values I'm going to subtract 3. And these would be my new x values. And then every one of my y values I'm going to add 1. And these would be my new y values. And so I can plot those. Negative 3, 9 will be still an open circle. Negative 2, 4. Negative 1, 1, 0, 0. 1, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 9. And so this would be my image. So my pre-image was the blue one, y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8, and the red one is my image. Notice what really just happens here is that we are shifting left 3 and up 1. Okay, and so this is a translation. It shifts things around on the graph or on the paper. Okay, so keeping in mind that that's what we're doing here, we're taking my x value and my y value and we're shifting them around by adding 2 to the x's and 3 to the y's. So if we're doing that to the point B, which is negative 3, 5, we are performing a translation of 2, 3. We're adding 2 to the x's and 3 to the y's. And when we add negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1 and 5 plus 3 is 8, we get B prime, the image. Okay, same idea here. We're taking negative 2, 3, and we are translating it, and we're going to put on top of the arrow the translation we're doing, which just means we're adding negative 2 plus 3 is 1, 3 plus negative 1 is 2. And that gives you your image. Okay, so in this one, it's backwards. They're asking what is the translation? So what happened? How did they add to get from negative 3 to 5? Negative 3 plus 8 makes 5. How did they add to get from 1 to 5? They had to add 4. And so this is the translation. Then if we put these two concepts together, a translation maps 2, 1 onto negative 3, 2. We have to figure out what that translation is. So to get from 2 to negative 3, we have to subtract 5. To get from 1 to 2, they have to add 1. Then we're going to find the image of 4, negative 1 under that same translation. So we're going to do negative 5, 1 to this new point. So 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And this is the final image. Okay, next, we're going to do a translation of 4, negative 3 to a triangle. So first graph the triangle. And now we have several choices. We can either treat this as a shifting pattern and shift it along the graph itself since it's graphed, or we can realize we're just adding. So either way this will work. If you are shifting it, x value is 4, so that would be a positive 4 for your x, so write 4. And then the negative 3 is your y value, so you're going down 3 because y is up and down. So you would take all these points and go right 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, and that would move A to A prime. B, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And this would be your new triangle. And usually you're told to write the coordinates. So if you're doing the shifting pattern, you'll do that first. If you're doing the adding pattern, you would do that second. You would do the adding first and the graphing second. So realizing that you're adding 4 to all your x values. So you're going to take each one of these and add 4 to it. So negative 1 plus 4, 0 plus 4, and 3 plus 4. If you're doing your y values, it's minus 3. So you're going to take all your y values and you're going to subtract 3. So negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5, negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7, and negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And you can see that that's the same points I got by shifting. So it doesn't matter which one you do first, if you shift it and then get your coordinates from the graph, or if you get your coordinates and then plot them on the graph. Either way. Okay, next one. We could graph these. I'm going to do that. And we can look to see how it shifted on the coordinate plane, or we can look at our values for our points and see what is being added to your x values and what is being added to your y values. So if you look from the x values, negative 1 to 7, you'd have to add 8. Same thing here, 2 to 10, you'd have to add 8. 1 to 9, you'd have to add 8. So for all of my x values, I'm adding 8. You can put the positive there if it helps you. And then for all of your y values, -5 to 2, you'd be adding 7. -6 to 1, you'd be adding 7. -10 to -3, you'd be adding 7. And so our translation pattern is 8, 7, which usually you won't see with the signs. And if you look at the graph itself, how do you get from A to A prime? You'd have to go right 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You would still get 8, 7 that way. Just remember it's X, so you're moving right or left first, and then Y, which is your up or down. All right, next I'm going to graph the line here. So the y-intercept is -2, and it's a negative slope, so down 3 and right 4. And then I'm going to write the equational line after translating this one, -5, 2. So that means every single point is going to be moved with the -5, 2 pattern. So remember, it's x, y. -5 for your x's means you're moving left 5, and 2 for your y's means you're moving up 2. So on the graph, you're going left 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 2 to get a point. So this y-intercept moved left 5 and up 2. This point next also moves left 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 2 to this spot. And you're going to do the same thing for all of them. Or at this point, once you have one, you can start using the slope, because when you keep moving left 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 2, you're getting a line. You can start to see the pattern here that is parallel to the one you started with. So every single point shifts to a place that forms a line parallel to the one we started on. It's just that the entire line has moved left 5 and up 2. And so now we need to write the equation of this line. You can see now our y-intercept's a little tricky, so instead we're going to do point slope form to make things a little faster. Pick any point you would like. I'll choose this one. All right, and you're going to plug it into your point slope form. So don't forget, you can use any point. This one is -1, -3. So y plus 3 equals, my slope is still -3/4 because it is a parallel line, and x plus 1. And if you would use any of the other points that are on here, like this one, or this one, or this one, that's okay too. All right. Now, what happens if we do what's called a composition? These little circles, they mean after. What that's saying is take your point 12, 7, and you're going to translate it -2, 5 after you do 1, 3. So basically with the composition, we work right to left. So we're going to take 12, 7. The first thing we're going to do is translate it 1, 3, which would make it 13, 10. And then we'll do the -2, 5, which would make it 11, 15. But something neat that can be done if you have two translations, and only if you have two translations, is add them together. So we can take these two and take the x values and combine them, and take the y values and combine them. And then you're able to take your original point and just do a single translation. And you're going to get the same answer doing it that way. For B, same idea. We're going to work right to left if you're going to put them together, and you will get this transformation combination. But you can also add the two translations together and then just do a single translation. You'll get the same answer. All right, for number 10, we are going from pre-image to image, and we're going to draw our vector in. So pre-image dashed, so pick a point on the dashed and go to the corresponding point on the image, and that's your vector. Pick a point on the dash, go to the corresponding point on the image, and draw your vector. And you must do this with a ruler, so make sure you're doing that. All right, and then finally on number 11, we're using our translation from E to F as the vector. So we have to look at our picture. How do we get from E to F? We have to go left 1 unit. If I did the same exact thing starting at L, go left 1 unit, I would get an answer of K. For part B, if my vector is C to E, I have to go down and to the right 2 units. If I did the same thing starting at A, I would land on G. And then if I look at K is the image of G, so that means that I went from G to K. The image of F would now be L. by going the same distance and direction.